All right, this is Roger here in Germany. This is a Plymouth Rat Rod build, Germany, part number 27, I believe it is. We've got the 10th of July 2016, also der 10. Juli 2016, and it's been about 3 months since I've done a project update here, but here we go. So my list is actually getting all greened out, and as you know, when the green marker hits on here, then I've basically everything completed off of here except a couple little small things, so that's kind of cool. I'll come back to the list in a couple minutes. But anyway, this is the Plymouth. That's the LS3 motor in here. Got everything put back together after I actually had to replace this little part up here. But one thing I want to show you here real quick. The original patina is going to stay, come right down here, and you see how this is actually dark lined right here? The product that actually does that, I finally found one, is this German product called Epoxy Bonux, and it's a rust converter, stopper, whatever. It's also a primer. The same product on the US side is this stuff called Rust-Oleum Rust Reformer, and you actually have to have a little bit of rust. So what I do is I take those Scotch pads, rough up everything a little bit, put it on here, and as you can see with the light up here, I love this old patina, but also I wanted to protect it. So everything here was kind of like a brownish color, but once you put the stuff on, it kind of like turns black and protects it. Cool beans on that one. Moving over to the grill, a buddy of mine in Zagreb, Croatia, we blew through there about 2 weeks ago, gave me his old grill out of his 36 Plymouth because it was pretty well bent up on this side. Mine was bent up on this side, and the center section wasn't worth saving. But anyway, I polished up all the stainless steel, cut his grill, my grill, welded them back together, so I've got actually 2 good sides on here, so that actually turned out really, really good. So a shout out to Marco in Zagreb, Croatia, really cool hot rod guy down there, and I'll talk more about that just a little bit later. Here's the old grill that he gave me. This is his side, and this is my side over here, and I just tack welded it right down here and put it back up for a little bit of wall art right now. But anyway, while we're on the grill, the reason I had to wait on the grill is because I ordered one of those radiators, and the radiators, depending on what company you go with, I'm not going to say anyone's better, but if you're paying $250 or less for a nice aluminum radiator, you might want to check into it. They got a 30-day warranty on most of these radiators, and frankly, they're not worth the crap. So if you go with a company that sells a radiator for like $600 or $700 and it doesn't have epoxy in it, epoxy basically means it didn't pass the QC process when it was going out the factory. And what they'll do is they'll pour hot epoxy down into the bottom of this thing, and that seals it up if it's got a hole. Unfortunately, my radiator still had a little bitty hole on it. I contacted the company several times, and they were going to give me like a 10% discount on a new radiator and charge me $600 to build them a new one. So pass on that. I actually had this radiator right here redone and recored by a German company down in Mannheim, Germany. Now they want their pretty paying for it on that too, but anyway, I know the radiator is in good condition now, and it's actually going to cool it. Again, this was a brand new radiator, and it leaked from the get-go. So anyway, I'm not going to mention any companies in particular, but the number one thing is if you're ordering a radiator and it's like $200 radiator, it looks new, probably made in China someplace, and it's sold in the United States. Anyway, that's just my advice. Take it for what it's worth. Anyway, moving over here, the coupe is actually running strong again. Only thing I did is pulled it out the back, changed oil in it this year, and that's it. That thing is running strong. A couple of projects. I built this thing like about 10, 15 years ago, and it's the most reliable little mini bike I think I've ever put together. Moving over here, I think you've seen pieces of this the last time. This is a hobby of mine. I don't sell these professional or everything, but what I do go through them is this is a 1958 283. You can tell by the staggered head valve covers. Have found those in Daytona Beach, and obviously they're staggered a little bit, so kind of a rarity, but a good little motor. And what I do is I put new rings in these things. I put new main bearings, bottom end bearings, new oil pump. I get these nice little Summit Racing stainless steel headers. It's kind of like a little kit I put together. New roller chain on it, new camshaft. I have my particular one I always get from Summit Racing, not too hard, not too soft. And this is actually a Corvette motor, I believe 78 Corvette 350. Again, nothing super high performance, but this thing is probably going to be topping out at 290, maybe 330 horsepower, I don't know. They're nice, reliable little motors, and this is just a simple old 305, although this is the first time I've actually done flat black, and I like it, including the valve covers. I still got some of this stuff to bolt together, and I even put new valve stems in it, and I got the new cutter that I ordered from Summit Racing, and it basically lets you put the positive valve cap seals on the top of these things to stop them from smoking. All these things have the Demon 625 carburetors on it, which is a hell of a good carburetor. Anyway, rolling back out here, trying not to make this video too long. The Plymouth is rocking and rolling. Here's a cool little thing I like, what I call modifications. This is the original thing that came with the, I just didn't like it. First of all, it's kind of like chipped up a little bit. So what I do is I cut it off. This is all pot metal. And if you don't know, pot metal, you can actually sand it down and then polish it up. And this is actually the piece I cut off right here. And I got this little moped emblem from a Hercules. That's an 80cc motorcycle over here in Germany that they used to sell. And I actually did tap this on right here. It got a little screw in the back of it, which you don't see it until you flip around the bottom side. So anyway, those are the things that I like to do because I think they're cool, and whatever pleases the eye is what you should do into your hot rod project. Technically, this is not a rat rod because I got air conditioning in this thing, I got nice leather seats, and it actually works out pretty cool. One little feature I want to show you here, I played around with the emergency brake for a long time, and this is a neat little feature. It's called e-stop, and it's an electric handbrake basically. It's like a new modern car. So I found a nice little place in here I can do that at. Pop it back out and it closes up, you heard it pop. I'll show you that in just a couple of seconds. Now they're kind of pricey. I think about $480 is what Summit wants for it. Now again, that's a chunk of change, even in my book. The problem with it is, by the time you go to the junkyard and then try to find something to fabricate, this guy sells a nice little worm gear driven e-brake. It's a nice little clean unit. It comes with a little beeping unit. It comes with this nice little fancy switch. And what I like about it, you take yourself a switch someplace and hide up in here, and it also turns into a theft prevention system. So if you can't activate or deactivate the emergency brake, you sure aren't pushing this thing away, which is a good thing because that cheap ass column that I got right here doesn't have lock on it, doesn't have a steering wheel lock, doesn't have a lock anything on it. So I want something so somebody basically can't push my car away once they break the windows out. One thing I wanted to show you here is my headliner. Now this is a pain in the butt to do because you got to bend all this metal. This is the original piece, and these are the pieces I've added to it. Obviously my electric windshield wipers are poking through here. This entire thing right here is going to be covered with leather and a little small insulation mat, so I don't have to worry about all these little imperfections here. That'll actually all be covered. Here's my switches. I'm going to actually put the nice little aluminum switches on here, but obviously my roof closes and goes back and forth, and it closes all the way up. So the roof is looking pretty good. My tweeters are going to be up in here, and I'm not going to bore you with the stereo system, but that's where I control my stereo system from right here. The dash is going to stay like this for right now, and I've got my nice little 1934 airflow dash that's going to go in here. That's still on the list to do. Anyway, I want to show you the brake right now. So I've got my handy dandy little board here, and I'm going to place the camera on it and shove it underneath here and show you how this thing functions. So I'm going to push it up underneath here, and I think you should be able to see the e-brake right about now. And I'm going to push it for you. So now it's locked. And now it's unlocking. Anyway, really cool stuff. The only other thing I wanted to show you here is I've been actually avoiding this for a long time, but this was my lower valance right here, and I finally got this thing put in here. This actually had pinholes in it, very thin. So I've got about 4 coats of paint on it right now. This is not going to stay this color. I'm actually going to put flat black over top of it, but what I'll do then is I'll lightly sand over top of it with some 1000 or 600 paper, and then bring some of this primer back through to give it the old patina. Again, I had no choice here. I actually had to do this way. And I've got this nice little recess right here, and there's going to be my trailer hitch bumper. And I'll just show you the inside of this thing real quick. So did a lot of welding back here, and it's a pretty stout little trailer hitch setup. Now obviously this right here will all clean up because I just got a little overspray on it the other day. And wait a minute, there you go, that'll all polish up. Okay, so moving around here, There's my little flipper 62 Impala I picked up in Topeka, Kansas. So I got that on the market over here right now. Again, not professional type stuff. I'm turning off the water hose right here. And this is a little 327 bone stock original. I've got it registered on the German sites with historical plates. And then I'll just move over here to this fancy little car here. This is my my motorized picnic table, 18 horsepower, Honda motor, battery for the boom boom, rack and pinion steering out of a Fiat Uno, speakers in front, stereo system. This is actually accelerator, and then pull back on it activates the 600 Honda CBR master cylinder with hydraulic brakes and automatic transmission to the Brembo brakes right here. And the only thing is boom boom right here. So I think that's about it. Hope I'm missing anything. What I will do is just reach in here. That's what I love about this car. This is open headers right now. Turn in here, it's not in gear. Now of course, that's open headers right now, so that was actually a cold start, so the thing runs perfectly fine. I am so close to actually getting this thing on the road. I'm just gonna go probably pick up my plates in about a week or two. So you guys get to see me do this. Rear bottom rust repair. Done deal. And now the only thing left is just a couple little small crap things like install speedometer, which I've already got done. Classic instrument gauges. I'm waiting for that new traditional series to come out, but if not, I've already got my my old pressure gauge sending unit, my old temperature in. Sway bar front is not critical right now. RPM gauge is already done, so I'm very close to inspection station. I will leave you with this one little thing that I want to share with everybody. German radio stations basically suck. That's just, it is. You know, I'm not going to mention any ones over here, but I like classic rock and roll. So what I have found is this little app right here. It's called 70s Radio right here. And I always pick the Eagle, the classic, and it is nothing but wall-to-wall classic rock and roll. So anyway, from Runneberg, Germany, Rat Rod Bill Plymouth number 27. Stoked about the car. I can already drive it. It brakes and it stops. I think I've showed you everything. The electric glass sunroof works on it. This is in the actual up position right now. Completely folds back. Car's got a hell of a stance as far as my opinion goes. I love that big thick tires on the back of it. And then again, I'll flat black that back right there. Lights work on it, blinkers work on it. I'll put the hood on it, which I actually have. One of the last things I'll put on here. It's actually on my list, but that's a thing of a couple minutes. Installing the front windshield will literally take whatever it takes to put 6 bolts in and install the rubber around there. I still have a week off of leave right now here in Germany. So I think that's all attainable within about 7-day period. So that's cool stuff. Anyway, I think that's about it. Auf Wiedersehen von Deutschland. Das Auto müsste auf die Straße sein bis Hockenheim dieses Jahr und freue mich alle. Also take care everybody from Runneberg, Germany. Auf Wiedersehen, bye bye.